This is your tech moment. James Vincent writes, "A paper towel dispenser with an end-user license agreement is a special kind of hell." The battle for supremacy in the world of hand hygiene is a dirty one, and nothing demonstrates this better than the depressing sight of a paper towel dispenser with a EULA. That's right, even dumb plastic boxes, whose only use in the world is to hold paper towels, apparently need an end-user license agreement now. In this case, the EULA, spotted by Harvard Library curator and Twitter user John Overholt at a recent conference, forbids the people who have to refill this torque dispenser from using rival non-torque products. What a world. As the digital rights group EFF explains, EULAs can be used to stop you criticizing a product publicly, for example, or from fixing it yourself if it breaks. Ludicrous examples of legal bureaucracy, and it's ridiculous to apply them to something like a paper towel dispenser. Just think about it for a second. You can definitely make the case that EULAs are useful in certain situations, particularly if it helps the customer get the best out of a product. But do you really think the job of dispensing paper towels is so technically difficult that only torque towels and a torque dispenser can do it properly? More often than not, the logic of EULAs is used to limit customer choice. As with coffee pods and printer ink, for example, if we let this sort of protectionism become the norm, it's all of us who end up losing out. Of course, there's much more to this story over at The Verge. Richard Speed writes, "Tech jocks tell Trump tariff tiff with China will not achieve what you think it will achieve." U.S. tech giants Dell, HP, Intel, and Microsoft have submitted a plea to have laptops and tablets excluded from the tariffs imposed by the U.S. government on Chinese imports. The letter comes as the administration of American President Donald Trump continues to ratchet up the stakes in the squabble over alleged trading practices by China. Trump slapped a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of goods back in June 2018. In September, a 10% tariff was applied to another $200 billion of goods heading into the U.S. from the People's Republic. While U.S. businesses may have been a bit irritated by that, May 2019's hike has left jowls positively trembling in a rage as a tariff of 25% hit all manner of goods from China, including electronics. Still, at least a 25% flat rate makes it easier to calculate the damage instead of having to work out what qualified for that 10% hit. There's always a bright side, right? Chinese manufacturing giant Foxconn, supplier kit to the likes of Apple, has said it has the capacity to move production out of China if needed, and as we reported previously, countries such as Vietnam, the Philippines, and India stand to benefit should American companies press the big red button. Slapping tariffs on goods from China, the four contend, will simply divert trade to other countries, taking valuable market share away from U.S. manufacturers. And with HP, Dell, and Apple driving 30%, 32%, and 43% respectively of their global laptop revenues from the U.S., that would be quite a hole blown in the balance sheet. Of course, there is more to read about this skewering story over at The Register. Phil Muncaster writes, "Florida City pays $600,000 to ransomware authors." A Florida city has agreed to pay cybercriminals $600,000 to regain access to computer systems encrypted with ransomware, highlighting the continued threat to organizations from extortion-based attacks. The Riviera Beach City Council voted unanimously to pay off the hackers after security consultants hired to help recommended the extreme course of action, which runs at odds to advice from law enforcement. The council had already voted to spend $900,000 on new computers after the attack struck 3 weeks ago, bringing the total outlay for the city of 32,000 residents to $1.5 million. The attack appears to have begun with a classic phishing email, which a city employee clicked on. According to the AP, an unnamed ransomware variant crippled email systems, forced city employees and suppliers to pay by check, and even interfered with 911 dispatches. The incident is just the latest in a long line of successful ransomware attacks targeting U.S. cities. Most recently, Baltimore suffered major outages, which are said to be costing the city $18 million. Another ransomware blitz forced employees in Del Rio back to pen and paper. Read the rest of this story and much more over at Info Security magazine. And here's a roundup of broadband, telecom, and multi-channel news headlines from DSL reports. FCC vote next month could lead to faster 5G rollout in the states. That story is over at phonearena.com. AT&T lays off thousands after nabbing billions in tax breaks and regulatory favors. That story is over at techdirt.com. Sources say Ajit Pai's office has withheld documents from the Democratic FCC commissioners on the FCC's probe into the unauthorized sale of U.S. cell phone location data. That story is over at gizmodo.com. AT&T files bad faith retrans complaint against 9 broadcasters. That story is at multichannel.com. T-Mobile and Sprint might clear major merger hurdle, still face another. That story is from fool.com. Project to bring high-speed internet across Kentucky delayed because company reps say an abundance of squirrels have chewed through wiring. That's over at phys.org. That's phys.org. T-Mobile's Leger named Best U.S. Wireless CEO, 4th best overall. That story from phonearena.com. Apple says its devices can now be repaired in 1,000 or more Best Buy locations across the U.S., expanding on its current network of about 270 Apple stores. You can find that story at TechCrunch.com. Xbox Live down on Xbox One and PC, reports GameSpot.com. And the UK's ISP internet porn ban delayed again due to a government administrative error. That story is over at ispreview.co.uk, and so much more can be found always over at dslreports.com. Help me out by thumbing this up or give it claps or telling people or sharing it on social media, please. I would appreciate it. Politics may be married to technology and big media, but sometimes individuals can make a difference. Get the Dirty Deeds Playbook today for just $2.99 on Kindle or for a few dollars more in paperback. This satirical field manual uses fools and fanatics to sow chaos in American elections. Tools and techniques, observations, and deception I've seen in the election process over these past few years. Support this news aggregation service by checking out my website at yourtechmoment.com today. Links there show all the places you can listen or watch for free. Also, find out about my other projects, subscribe to my newsletter and alerts, or buy books, advertise, and support this project with some merchandise purchases. Have a great day.